In the heart of a tranquil suburban neighborhood, where the streets were lined with well-manicured lawns and children's laughter echoed through the air, there existed an unspoken unease, a tale passed down in hushed tones from one generation to the next. It was a community where neighbors greeted each other with warm smiles, yet their eyes often betrayed a flicker of shared fear, a collective secret held tightly like a hand of cards close to the chest. This story was not of the neighborhood itself, which had thrived for decades as a picturesque slice of Americana, but of an anomaly on its fringes, a tunnel, inconspicuously nestled in the dense thicket that bordered the town. To an outsider, it might appear as nothing more than a neglected piece of architecture, a relic of an age gone by, swallowed up by vines and the relentless march of time. But to the residents, it was known as the Tunnel of Lost Souls, a name whispered in the dead of night, a specter in the stories of the old and the nightmares of the young. The tunnel's origins were murky, lost in the tangle of local lore and the fading memories of the town's eldest inhabitants. Some said it was an abandoned railway tunnel, a project started with ambition and then discarded when the veins of the earth proved too stubborn. Others believed it was older, a passage carved by forgotten hands for purposes best left unspoken. Despite its mysterious past, one thing was agreed upon: the tunnel was a place of loss. Over the years, stories had surfaced of people venturing into its gaping maw, their curiosity or despair drawing them into the darkness. Not all who entered emerged, and those who did spoke little of what they saw, their eyes hollow, their spirits dimmed. As the years rolled by, the tales of the tunnel grew, each disappearance adding a layer to its legend. It was not a place of gore or overt terror, but of an insidious creeping dread that seeped into the bones of those who dared to wander too close. It was a void where the lines between the known and the unknown blurred, where the fabric of reality seemed thin and fragile, as if the tunnel itself were a tear in the very fabric of existence. And so it stood, the Tunnel of Lost Souls, a shadow on the edge of consciousness, a reminder of the thin veil between the light of the living and the darkness of the unknown. It was into this setting that Trisha's story would unfold, her life intertwining with the legend of the tunnel in ways she could never have imagined. The stage was set, the pieces in motion, and the whispers of the forgotten path were about to find voice once more. In the soft glow of the morning, Trisha stood by her kitchen window, her gaze lost in the mundane beauty of her garden. The world outside carried on with blissful ignorance, the chirping of birds and the gentle rustle of leaves, forming a stark contrast to the storm that raged within her. It had been a year since her life had been shattered, a year since her husband, Michael, had vanished without a trace. That morning was like any other, except for the heavy envelope that lay unopened on the table. The words "final notice" were stamped across it in bold, unforgiving letters. It was the legal declaration of her husband's death in absentia, a term she had come to despise. It was a closure on paper, a bureaucratic end to a chapter that her heart refused to close. Trisha's life with Michael had been one of quiet happiness, a shared journey of love and understanding. He was her rock, the calm to her storm. His disappearance had left a void, a silence that echoed louder each day. The initial weeks had been a blur of police reports, search parties, and countless tears. But as days turned to months, hope had faded, leaving in its wake a relentless, numbing grief. The community had been supportive, rallying around her with kind words and casseroles. But as time passed, their words of comfort slowly turned to whispers of judgment. "It's time to move on," they'd say, their eyes darting away, unable to hold her gaze. Trisha knew they meant well, but their words felt like weights, pulling her deeper into the abyss of her despair. In the solitude of her home, Trisha had begun to feel a presence, a sense of being watched. It was a fleeting feeling, gone as soon as she turned to look, but it left her with a chill that lingered. She tried to dismiss it as a trick of her grieving mind, but a part of her couldn't shake the feeling that it was somehow connected to Michael, to the unanswered questions that haunted her. It was during one of her rare visits to the local store that she overheard a conversation about the tunnel. Two elderly residents spoke in hushed tones, their words laced with fear. "Another one gone," they said, "vanished just like the others." Their eyes darted around, as if afraid of being overheard. Trisha's heart skipped a beat. There was something in their tone, a familiarity that resonated with her own loss. Driven by a newfound purpose, Trisha began to dig deeper. She scoured local archives, pieced together old newspaper clippings, and listened to the whispered stories of the town's oldest inhabitants. A pattern began to emerge, a chilling link between the tunnel and a series of disappearances that had plagued the town over the years. With each discovery, the pull of the tunnel grew stronger. It was as if it was calling to her, beckoning her to uncover its secrets. Trisha knew the path she was about to tread was fraught with danger, but the need for answers, the need to find some trace of Michael, drove her forward. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across her garden, Trisha made a decision. She would venture into the tunnel of lost souls. She would face the darkness, the unknown, in search of the truth. Little did she know, the truth she sought would be more horrifying than she could ever imagine. The journey into the abyss was about to begin, and the whispers of the forgotten path were about to find voice once more. Trisha's determination had set her on a path that few had dared to tread. The tunnel, a mere whisper in the daylight, became her sole focus, a beacon in the fog of her grief. Armed with the fragmented tales of the past and the restless energy of the present, she began to piece together the puzzle of the mysterious tunnel and its eerie connection to the disappearances. The tunnel lay on the outskirts of the neighborhood, its entrance half concealed by overgrown foliage and the relentless passage of time. It was a relic of an era long gone, its purpose forgotten, its story etched into the very fabric of the town's consciousness. As Trisha approached it for the first time, a shiver ran down her spine. The air around the tunnel was cooler, heavier, as if laden with untold secrets and silent screams. Ignoring the instinctual fear that clouded her insides, Trisha stepped closer, her eyes scanning the graffiti-laden walls and the debris-strewn ground. It was a place untouched by time, a void where the normal rules of life seemed suspended. As she ventured a few cautious steps into the darkness, her flashlight beam caught something peculiar, a series of personal items scattered haphazardly, as if left behind in a hurried escape. Among the discarded items, Trisha found a weathered photograph, its edges frayed and colors faded. It was a picture of a young man, his smile frozen in time, his eyes looking out as if begging to tell his story. A pang of recognition hit Trisha. She had seen that face in the archives, one of the many who had vanished, leaving behind nothing but questions and broken hearts. Driven by a mix of fear and resolve, Trisha began to visit the tunnel regularly, documenting her findings and slowly unraveling the mystery. Each visit brought new discoveries, more personal items, strange markings on the walls, sounds that had no source. The tunnel was like a living entity, its breath cold and its heartbeat an echo of the footsteps of those who dared to walk its path. With each piece of the puzzle that fell into place, Trisha felt a growing connection to the tunnel, a sense of shared destiny. It was as if the tunnel recognized her loss, her pain, and was guiding her toward something that lay in the depths of its shadowy embrace. As days turned to weeks, Trisha's visits became more frequent, her determination turning into obsession. She knew that the answers she sought lay within the cold, suffocating darkness of the tunnel. And so, with a heart heavy with sorrow and a spirit ignited by the flame of resolve, she prepared to venture deeper into the unknown, to confront whatever lay in wait. The tunnel of lost souls was about to reveal its secrets, and the link between the forgotten path and the missing souls was about to be uncovered. The story of Trisha and the tunnel was intertwining, their fates locked in a dance as old as time, and the next step was about to be taken into the heart of darkness. Trisha's visits to the tunnel had become a ritual, a silent pilgrimage in search of answers. With each step into its gaping maw, she felt the veil between the known and the unknown thinning, the whispers of the lost souls intertwining with her own heartbeat. The tunnel, with its oppressive darkness and chilling secrets, had become a world unto itself, a realm where the rules of reality seemed twisted, distorted by the weight of unspoken horrors. On what felt like her 100th descent into the abyss, Trisha felt a shift in the air, a change in the silent pact she had formed with the tunnel. The darkness felt denser, the silence heavier, as if the very atmosphere was charged with anticipation. It was as if the tunnel itself was aware of her presence, its unseen eyes watching her every move, its breath mingling with her own. With her flashlight casting long shadows against the crumbling walls, Trisha ventured deeper than ever before. The familiar sense of dread that accompanied her was now mixed with a fierce determination, a burning need to uncover the truth that lay hidden in the heart of the darkness. As she moved forward, her light fell upon a sight that made her heart skip a beat. The discovery of Michael's watch was a turning point for Trisha. It was a tangible link to her husband, a thread that connected her to the myriad of unanswered questions that haunted her. It fueled her resolve, igniting a fire within her that pushed back against the suffocating dread. With renewed purpose, Trisha pressed on, the weight of the watch in her pocket, a constant reminder of the stakes, of the love that had propelled her into this nightmare. As she ventured further, the tunnel began to reveal its secrets. Strange markings adorned the walls, symbols that seemed to dance in the beam of her flashlight, their meaning elusive yet disturbingly familiar. Sounds whispered through the darkness, echoes of footsteps, of breaths, of whispered pleas that seemed to emanate from the very walls. And then, in a moment that felt suspended in time, Trisha saw it, a fleeting shadow, a shape that defied explanation, darting through the darkness just beyond the reach of her light. Her heart pounded in her chest, a mix of fear and fascination coursing through her veins. Was this the creature of the legends, the guardian of the tunnel's secrets? Or was it something else, something even more ancient and terrifying? With every fiber of her being screaming for her to flee, to escape the oppressive darkness and the unknown horrors it concealed, Trisha pressed on. The tunnel had taken so much from her, had cast a shadow over her life that could never be fully lifted. But it had also given her a purpose, a mission that transcended her own grief. She was no longer just a widow, a woman shattered by a loss. She was a seeker of truth, a bearer of light in the heart of darkness. As she prepared to face whatever lay ahead, Trisha knew that her journey was far from over. The tunnel had accepted her as a part of its story, and the dance between the light and the shadow, between the known and the unknown, was about to take its next terrifying step. The first encounter was merely the beginning, and the true nature of the tunnel of lost souls was about to be revealed. The encounter with the shadowy figure in the tunnel had left Trisha both terrified and exhilarated. The palpable presence of something otherworldly, lurking in the shadows just beyond her reach, had transformed her quest from a search for closure into a confrontation with the unknown. With Michael's watch as a constant grounding presence, Trisha dove deeper into the mystery, her resolve hardened by the encounter. In the days that followed, Trisha's life became a cycle of research and exploration. By day, she scoured the local archives, piecing together the fragmented history of the tunnel. She pored over old maps, newspaper clippings, and personal accounts, tracing the pattern of disappearances back through decades. Each story was a thread in the tapestry of the tunnel's dark legacy, each disappearance a marker of the unseen horror that lurked within. By night, she returned to the tunnel, her every sense heightened, her mind a whirlwind of fear and determination. The strange markings on the walls began to take on new meaning as she pieced together the fragments of lore and legend. They spoke of an ancient entity, a guardian of the threshold between worlds, its formless presence a magnet for the lost and the desperate. As Trisha delved deeper into the mystery, she began to encounter others who had been touched by the tunnel's darkness. Reluctant at first, they opened up to her, sharing their own tales of strange sightings, eerie sounds, and the overwhelming sense of being watched. Each account added depth to the unfolding narrative, painting a picture of a force that defied explanation, a darkness that fed on sorrow and despair. One encounter, in particular, stood out: a meeting with an elderly man who had lived in the shadow of the tunnel all his life. His eyes, clouded by age, held a depth of knowledge and fear that sent shivers down Trisha's spine. He spoke in a whisper, his voice tinged with a dread that transcended the years. "The tunnel is old, older than the town, older than any of us can fathom," he said, his gaze distant. "It's a place of convergence, where the veils between worlds grow thin. The creature, if that's what you want to call it, is the guardian of that threshold. It's not evil, not in the way we understand it, but it's ancient, and it's hungry. It feeds on the lost, on the pain and the despair that they carry. Your husband, God rest his soul, he's part of that place now, part of the story that's been unfolding since before our time." The old man's words hung heavy in the air, a chilling testament to the depth of the mystery that Trisha had entangled herself in. The tunnel was more than a mere physical space, it was a nexus of energies, ancient and powerful, and she was now irrevocably a part of its story. As the pieces of the puzzle began to fall into place, Trisha felt a growing sense of dread and awe. The tunnel was a portal, a gateway between realms, and the creature that dwelled within was its keeper. The disappearances, the strange occurrences, they were all part of a larger, more terrifying reality that defied comprehension. With each revelation, Trisha's determination grew. She knew that her journey was far from over, that the true nature of the tunnel and its keeper was a mystery that might never be fully unraveled. But she also knew that she could not turn back, that her fate was inextricably linked to the dark heart of the tunnel of lost souls. As she prepared for her next descent into the darkness, Trisha felt a mix of fear and resolve coursing through her veins. She was no longer just a seeker of truth, she was a part of the story, a player in a drama that spanned the ages. The tunnel had called her into its depths, and she would answer, armed with the light of her resolve and the shadows of her fears. The mystery was unraveling, the veil lifting, and the next chapter in the tale of the tunnel of lost souls was about to be written. The dance between light and shadow, between the known and the unknown, was entering its next, most perilous phase. Equipped with a resolute spirit and a determination hardened by her discoveries, Trisha prepared to venture deeper into the tunnel than ever before. The stories she had unearthed, the warnings of the old man, and her own chilling encounters, had woven a tapestry of dread and awe around the heart of the tunnel. Yet, despite the fear that gnawed at her, the need to uncover the truth, to connect with the fate of her beloved Michael, propelled her forward. This journey was different. It wasn't just another step in her quest, it was a descent into the very essence of the mystery. The tunnel awaited her, its silent call resonating with the beat of her heart, its dark maw an invitation to the unknown. As Trisha stepped into the tunnel, the air around her shifted. The oppressive darkness seemed to pulsate with unseen life, the shadows whispering secrets in a language felt rather than heard. Her flashlight, a solitary beacon in the engulfing blackness, seemed dimmer, its beam swallowed by the thick air that surrounded her. With each step, Trisha felt the boundary between her world and the realm she was entering blur. The markings on the walls, now familiar yet eternally enigmatic, seemed to glow faintly, guiding her deeper into the tunnel. The sounds of the outside world faded, replaced by a silence so profound that it roared in her ears. Then, amidst the suffocating darkness, she sensed the presence of the creature. It was an entity that defied description, its form a shifting tapestry of shadows and whispers. Trisha could feel its awareness, a consciousness ancient and alien, regarding her with an intensity that bore into her very soul. Despite the primal fear that screamed within her to flee, to escape the all-consuming darkness, Trisha stood her ground. She had come too far, lost too much, to turn back now. With a voice that trembled yet held a core of steel, she spoke into the darkness. "I seek the truth," she declared, her words a beacon in the suffocating blackness. "I seek the fate of those taken, the story of this place. I demand an audience with the keeper of this threshold." The air around her thickened, the darkness deepening until it felt almost solid. Then, slowly, a form began to coalesce in front of her, a shape that was both air and not air, a shadow given life. The creature of the tunnel, the guardian of the threshold, stood before her, its presence a weight that threatened to crush her. Yet, within that presence, Trisha felt a resonance, a connection that transcended fear and comprehension. The creature, in its inscrutable way, was communicating, sharing its essence with her. Images and emotions flooded Trisha's mind, glimpses of other worlds, of thresholds and gateways, of souls lost and found, of a balance maintained across the ages. In that moment of connection, Trisha understood the true nature of the creature and the tunnel. It was not a place of evil, but of balance, a junction between realities where the lost could find a new path, where the pain of the world was acknowledged and held. The creature was not a predator, but a guardian, a keeper of stories, of the countless souls who had passed through the threshold. With the knowledge came a sense of peace, a resolution to the burning questions that had driven her into the heart of darkness. But it also brought a realization that her journey was not yet over, that her role in the story of the tunnel of lost souls was more significant than she had ever imagined. As the presence of the creature receded, leaving her alone in the silent darkness once more, Trisha knew that her life had been irrevocably changed. She had ventured into the unknown and emerged with a truth that few could comprehend, a truth that would guide her next steps. The mystery of the tunnel had been unraveled, the creature's realm revealed, but the story of Trisha and the tunnel of lost souls was far from over. The next chapter was yet to be written, and the dance between light and shadow, between the known and the unknown, would continue. The journey through the heart of darkness had brought enlightenment, but it had also opened new paths, new questions, and new possibilities. The tunnel lay silent once more, its secrets partially revealed, its story intertwined with the fate of a woman who had dared to seek the truth. The legacy of the tunnel of lost souls was evolving, and its next chapter was about to begin. After her profound encounter with the creature, Trisha emerged from the tunnel a changed woman. The weight of her grief and the burden of the unknown had been transformed into a deep understanding of the tunnel's true nature. The creature, once a source of fear and mystery, had revealed itself to be a guardian of thresholds, a keeper of the balance between worlds. However, the revelation was hers alone, a truth too vast and complex to be easily shared or understood. The community, still reeling from the series of unexplained disappearances, remained ensnared in fear and skepticism. Trisha knew that her experience, if shared hastily, would be dismissed as the ramblings of a grief-stricken mind. Yet, the urgency to reveal the truth, to bring closure to the families of the lost, pushed her to find a way to make her story heard. Determined to bring the truth to light, Trisha reached out to a local journalist, a young man named David, known for his open mind and determination to uncover the deeper stories of the town. She shared her journey, her encounters in the tunnel, and the revelations of the creature. David listened intently, his skepticism slowly giving way to a dawning realization of the story's significance. Together, they formulated a plan to document the tunnel's secrets, to gather evidence of the creature's existence and the true nature of the disappearances. David's connections and resources gave Trisha a new avenue to explore, and they assembled a small team, each member driven by a mix of curiosity and a desire to uncover the truth. Equipped with cameras, recording equipment, and a fierce determination, the team ventured into the tunnel. The darkness welcomed them, a familiar embrace to Trisha, a chilling unknown to the others. Guided by Trisha's resolve and the faint markings on the walls, they delved deeper into the heart of the tunnel. The journey was fraught with tension, each shadow and sound a test of their resolve. Yet, amidst the oppressive darkness, they found evidence of the countless souls who had passed through the tunnel, a collection of personal items, each a silent testament to a life and story absorbed by the tunnel's embrace. As they ventured further, the air around them shifted, the darkness deepening, the presence of the creature palpable in every shadow. Cameras rolling, hearts pounding, they awaited the encounter, the moment of revelation. And then, in a moment that felt suspended outside of time, the creature revealed itself. The cameras captured its form, a shifting tapestry of shadow and light, a presence both terrifying and awe-inspiring. The footage, though fleeting, was undeniable, a glimpse of the guardian of thresholds, the keeper of the balance between worlds. The team emerged from the tunnel, the weight of their experience a silent bond between them. The footage, reviewed in the harsh light of the outside world, was a concrete testament to the truth of Trisha's story. The revelation of the creature and the true nature of the tunnel sent shockwaves through the community. Authorities, faced with the undeniable evidence, were forced to act. The tunnel was sealed, its entrance barred, a silent acknowledgement of the mysteries that lay within. The story of the Tunnel of Lost Souls, documented and shared, became a phenomenon, a tale that transcended the small suburban neighborhood and sparked conversations and debates far and wide. But for Trisha, the revelation was bittersweet. The truth had been unveiled, the stories of the lost acknowledged, but the void left by Michael's absence remained. The tunnel had been a journey, a path to understanding and acceptance, but the echoes of her lost love still resonated within her, a melody of memory and longing that no revelation could silence. In the aftermath of the tunnel's sealing, the community struggled to come to terms with the reality of the events. Some found comfort in the closure, a resolution to the haunting mystery that had plagued their lives. Others wrestled with the implications, the knowledge of a world that brushed against their own, unseen yet profoundly real. Trisha, her role as the bridge between these worlds now fulfilled, found herself at a crossroads. The revelation of the tunnel's secrets had not brought her the peace she had sought. Instead, it had opened her eyes to the complexities of existence, the intricate balance between light and shadow that played out across the tapestry of life. The footage captured by David and his team became a subject of intense scrutiny and debate. Skeptics and believers, scientists and mystics, all found something in the images that spoke to their beliefs and understanding. The Tunnel of Lost Souls was no longer just a local legend, it had become a symbol, a nexus of questions and theories that reached far beyond the suburban neighborhood. As the world looked on, dissecting and discussing the footage, Trisha retreated into the quiet solitude of her life. The tunnel, now sealed and silent, was a chapter closed, a story told. Yet, within her, the journey continued, a path that wound through the depths of her soul, touching the essence of her being. The truth of the tunnel had been a revelation, a glimpse into the mysteries that lay beyond the veil of the known. But for Trisha, the true journey was internal, a quest not for answers, but for understanding, for a way to weave the threads of her loss and her discovery into the fabric of her existence. As days turned into weeks, and weeks into months, Trisha found a new rhythm to her life, a new understanding of her place in the world. The echoes of her journey through the Tunnel of Lost Souls resonated within her, a constant reminder of the depths of love and the mysteries of existence. The story of the tunnel was complete, its secrets revealed, its mysteries laid bare. But the story of Trisha, of her love, her loss, and her journey into the unknown, was just beginning. The tunnel had been a passage, a gateway to a deeper understanding of the world and of herself. As she looked back on her journey, Trisha realized that the true revelation was not in the footage or the sealed entrance of the tunnel. It was in the journey itself, in the courage to face the unknown, to embrace the darkness and find the light within. The Tunnel of Lost Souls was a part of her story, a chapter in a larger tale that continued to unfold with each passing day. The legacy of the tunnel lingered, a silent testament to the complexity of life and the enduring power of the human spirit. And as Trisha moved forward, carrying the weight of her experiences and the echoes of her discoveries, she knew that the journey was far from over. The dance between light and shadow, between the known and the unknown, would continue, a timeless rhythm that pulsed at the heart of existence. In the quiet aftermath of the revelation, Trisha found herself at the center of a maelstrom of attention and speculation. The sealed entrance of the Tunnel of Lost Souls stood as a silent monument to the journey she had undertaken, a journey that had captivated the imagination of people far beyond her quiet suburban neighborhood. But even as the world buzzed with theories and debates about the footage and the tunnel's secrets, Trisha felt a stirring within her, a sense that her journey was not yet complete. The encounter with the creature, the revelations of the tunnel, had opened a door within her, revealing paths of understanding and connection she had never imagined. Compelled by a force that was both internal and inexplicable, Trisha rallied David and the rest of the team for one final journey into the heart of the mystery. The tunnel, though sealed, called to her in dreams and waking thoughts, its silent whispers a constant presence in her mind. With the world watching, the team embarked on their final confrontation with the unknown. Equipped with more sophisticated equipment and a deep, shared resolve, they breached the sealed entrance of the tunnel, stepping once more into the darkness that had changed their lives forever. As they ventured deeper, the air around them charged with anticipation, a sense that the very fabric of reality was thinning, revealing glimpses of the profound and the otherworldly. The darkness of the tunnel enveloped them, a familiar embrace that was both terrifying and comforting. Then, in the heart of the tunnel, they encountered the creature once more. It was a presence that defied words, a convergence of shadows and light, of understanding and enigma. This time, the encounter was different. There was a sense of recognition, of an unspoken dialogue between the creature and Trisha, a sharing of knowledge and purpose that transcended the physical space they occupied. The cameras captured it all, the ethereal presence of the creature, the profound interaction, the unspoken understanding that passed between them. It was a moment of pure connection, a meeting of different realms, a recognition of the balance and the complexity of the tapestry of existence. As the encounter concluded, a sense of completion filled the air. The creature receded into the shadows, its presence a lingering warmth in the cold darkness of the tunnel. Trisha and the team, forever changed by the experience, emerged into the light of a world that was the same, yet irrevocably different. The footage of the final confrontation became a testament to the journey, a bridge between worlds and understandings. It sparked discussions and revelations, opening minds to the possibilities that lay just beyond the veil of the known. For Trisha, the journey through the tunnel of lost souls had been a path of pain, discovery, and ultimately, understanding. She had sought answers and found truths that were deeper and more profound than she had ever imagined. The tunnel, now a closed chapter in her life, remained a part of her, a reminder of the depths of love, the power of the unknown, and the endless journey of the human spirit. The final confrontation had not been a battle, but a meeting, a recognition of the shared essence of all existence, a dance of light and shadow that continued to play out in every moment of life. As Trisha moved forward, the echoes of her journey resonating within her, she carried with her the knowledge that the dance between the known and the unknown was eternal, a fundamental part of the fabric of existence. The story of the tunnel of lost souls was complete, but the journey of understanding, of seeking the light within the darkness, was a journey that would continue, a never-ending path that wound through the heart of all being. As the dust settled on the final encounter in the tunnel of lost souls, Trisha found herself navigating a new reality. The footage of their profound interaction with the creature had been disseminated worldwide, igniting a firestorm of curiosity, debate, and scientific inquiry. The tunnel, once a local enigma, had become a symbol of the mysteries that lay just beyond human understanding. The community around the tunnel was transformed. The area that had once been marked by fear and superstition was now the subject of intense interest from researchers, spiritual seekers, and the simply curious. The sealed entrance of the tunnel became a site of pilgrimage, a silent monument to the journey that had unfolded within its depths. For Trisha, the aftermath was a time of reflection and transition. The journey through the tunnel had been a crucible, transforming her grief and curiosity into a deeper understanding of the fabric of existence. She had sought answers about her husband's disappearance and had found truths that transcended her personal tragedy. The revelation of the tunnel's secrets had not brought her the closure she had initially sought. Instead, it had opened her to new ways of seeing the world, of understanding the delicate interplay between light and shadow that defined existence. The presence of the creature, the guardian of thresholds, remained with her, a silent companion on her continued journey through life. As the initial fervor surrounding the tunnel began to fade, Trisha embarked on a new path. She became a speaker, sharing her story and the insights she had gained from her encounters in the tunnel. Her talks, infused with the depth of her experience, touched the hearts of many, offering a beacon of understanding in a world often mired in confusion and fear. The legacy of the tunnel of lost souls lived on, not just in the minds and theories of those who studied it, but in the lives of those who had been touched by its mystery. The tunnel had been a gateway, not to answers, but to deeper questions about existence, love, and the nature of reality. In her quiet moments, Trisha would often find herself gazing at the sealed entrance to the tunnel, now overgrown and part of the landscape. The memories of her journey, of the love she had shared with Michael, and of the truths she had encountered, were a silent melody that played continuously in the background of her life. The Tunnel of Lost Souls had been a chapter in her story, a profound encounter on her journey through life. But as one chapter closed, another awaited its turn, filled with the promise of new discoveries, new understandings, and the continuous dance of light and shadow that was the essence of existence. Trisha's journey through the tunnel had been a journey into the heart of mystery. And though the tunnel's secrets had been revealed, the journey of exploration, of seeking the light within the darkness, was a journey that would never end. For in the heart of every shadow lay a spark of light, and in every end, the whisper of a new beginning. The story of the Tunnel of Lost Souls was complete, but the story of life, with its endless mysteries and boundless possibilities, continued to unfold in every moment, every breath, every heartbeat. Years had passed since Trisha's journey into the Tunnel of Lost Souls, yet the echoes of that journey resonated through time, a constant undercurrent in the symphony of her life. The tunnel itself, now sealed and reclaimed by nature, stood as a silent witness to the mysteries it had once harbored, a reminder of the thin veil that separates the known from the unknown. Trisha's life had moved forward, the rhythms of everyday existence intertwining with the profound insight she had gained from her encounters in the tunnel. She had found a new purpose, a new calling, in sharing her story and the lessons of her journey. Her talks and writings touched the hearts of many, offering a glimmer of understanding in a world often shrouded in shadow. Yet, in the quiet moments of solitude, Trisha's thoughts would often drift back to the tunnel, to the encounter with the creature, and to Michael, whose absence had set her on the path to the depths of the unknown. The tunnel had been a crucible, transforming her grief and curiosity into a deeper understanding of the delicate fabric of existence. The legacy of the Tunnel of Lost Souls lived on, not as a tale of fear or superstition, but as a testament to the human spirit's capacity to seek light in the heart of darkness. The stories and theories surrounding the tunnel had become a part of the larger tapestry of human inquiry, a thread in the ongoing exploration of the mysteries that define our existence. As Trisha gazed upon the sealed entrance of the tunnel, now little more than a contour in the landscape, she felt a sense of peace. The journey through the tunnel had been a passage through the shadows of loss and the unknown, leading her to a place of acceptance and understanding. The whispers of the tunnel, the echoes of the lost souls and the ancient guardian, had become a part of her, a silent melody that played in the background of her consciousness. The creature, the keeper of thresholds, remained with her in spirit, a reminder of the balance and the continuity that underlies the tapestry of life. In the end, the story of the Tunnel of Lost Souls was not just a story of loss and discovery, it was a reflection of the journey of life itself. It was a tale of love, of grief, of courage, and of the endless quest for understanding that defines the human condition. The tunnel, now quiet and undisturbed, continued to hold its secrets, its legacy a part of the fabric of the community and the world beyond. And Trisha, forever changed by her journey into the heart of mystery, carried the echoes of that journey forward, a beacon of light in a world filled with shadows. The Tunnel of Lost Souls had been a chapter in her life, a profound encounter on the path of existence. But the journey of life, with its endless mysteries and boundless possibilities, continued to unfold, a never-ending dance of light and shadow, of discovery and understanding, of love and loss. And in every ending, in every silence, the whisper of a new beginning, a new journey, awaited.
Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. We highly recommend you watch the next video here. Oops. I'm waiting for you to click. Yes, you've clicked. Happy watching.